Hey, Stats and Motion
Okay, is everyone ready? I'm going to play a video. This is a message from the program coordinator.
students. I thought this would be a Hey, Stats and Motion students. I thought this would be a good time to check in with you all. It's been an intense 4 weeks, I think, for all of us. But now's not the time to ease up. It's the time for all of us to push to the finish line. For those of you who have been committed to the program and you're doing your best to stay on top of assignments, today is a reward day to get in a few of those missing assignments that could help boost your grade a few points, and hopefully maybe change the letter grade in the process. I challenge you guys to recommit yourself to the next 2 weeks and make stats your priority. I don't want you to settle for anything less than the grade that you are capable of earning. Now, while most of us are coming to the finish line, there are some of you who are somehow still in the starting blocks. I see 10, 11, 17 assignments missing. 17 assignments missing. You know that is a joke of a commitment. And now is the time to decide if you are really serious about this and want to be accountable for your own success. Starting today, you are adjusting your attitude and your study habits and getting yourself out of the blocks, or you will be back running an 18-week race in the fall. A lot of you don't have the experience to recognize the valuable resources of this program, but those resources only work if you do. You will not have such amazing tutors in the fall or the spring at your disposal. So please take advantage of them right now. Put them to work for you. Even if you don't think you have a chance to pass right now, you could at least get your grade up to a D. Learn whatever you can to make sure that the material is easier next time. Sometimes passing stats in 2 semesters can be a great success. Please check your email for a message from me and respond if I have asked you to do so. When making up your missing assignments today, start with the major assignments first. They are worth more percentage of your grade. And then you want to make your way to the knowledge checks. Always do the assignments that are worth more points, because those are the ones you don't want missing. And finally, I ask all of you to figure out how you are going to push for the next 2 weeks, starting right now. Successfully completing this course will significantly increase your chances at being a college graduate. You owe it to your family, your team, your coaches, and most importantly, to yourself to do whatever it takes to reach the finish line. Falcons, take flight. Thanks.
There we go.
Thank you so much. So now is the time to turn everything around, okay? Submit all your missing assignments, okay? If you do not have submitted all your assignments, please submit those, okay? One thing, this module number 11, I went through step-by-step process, right? Watch yesterday's video. I did 1 through 6. All you need to do is 2 more problems here, 7 and 8 on your own, right? And if you get stuck, if you're trying to do this by yourself and you get stuck, watch the videos, okay? And if the video is not available, have Marie actually post that up for you. And I'll just tell them during today's meeting, have all the videos uploaded, okay? One other thing, the central limit theorem, the idea behind the central limit theorem, right? I went over yesterday morning's class. So if you did not, right? I think the afternoon class, I went over this material. The central limit theorem, I went in the morning. So watch that video, okay? So far, so good. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna help you, right? Not basically do the exam, but actually show you and guide you to do your exam number 2 portion of it. Okay, I'm gonna share here. So this is basically your take-home exam. And what you're doing is creating and evaluating and actually collecting the data, right? Sorting that data and figuring out portions of that data and then putting it into dot plot and so forth, okay? So I'm gonna kind of go through this, right? myself, you have to go kind of go through it with your own data. Okay, so far so good. Any question? Okay, the first step here. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, you are welcome to receive help from the tutors, classmate, instructor, online support, me, but whatever you write on your exam must be something that you own, right? You have to write this, right? Remember, you can even ask instructor, tutor for tip and check your work, right? Please list any references and right for whoever, right? Okay, list your references. How can we predict your characteristics about your population? By only looking at one sample in order to understand this, you have to actually look at, right? Figure out the definition. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the technical portion of it, right? Okay, although the population is fairly small, let's look at how we can predict the population characteristic or proportion of Democrat in a 115 US Senate by taking sample. Okay, in order to do that, we need to actually first, okay, go over here, go to your, right, Stat Crunch. Okay, you guys all have that Stat Crunch. Go to that SiM program, go to the data set. On your second page, you have your 115 Senate as of July 2019. You want to click on this. When you click on this, it opens up this right here. This is not involved. Let me actually clear this column, okay? So it gives you 115 Senate member, and they have I thought they have 115. Why 100? I think they just get 100.
No, it's 100 senators, but it's 115th Senate historically.
Oh, 115 Senate, 100 senators. Thank you.
Yeah, because there's 2 senators per state, right?
Right, two senators, and then Democrat, Republican, depending on who who won it, right? So they're listed here, affiliation. Okay, and what we're trying to do is we want to figure out what proportion of are Democrat, what proportion of, right, are Republican, without actually going through and figuring out the whole population. And that's what we're trying to do here, using what we call the sample, okay? Sample of 10 in this case right here, okay? So this is a list of senator in the given data, 115 senates as of July 19 in our StatCrunch group. Open that setup. Note that each senator is assigned a number label. As you can see, they're assigned a number label, 1 all the way through 100. Okay, so far so good. Okay, let's go here again. Okay. And then now collect a simple random sample of 100 senators and record their number in the Democrat of your sample. In the simplest way to do this, go to StatCrunch, applet, random number, right? Minimum 1, maximum 100. We want sample size 10, right? So let's do that here. Okay, so let's go to applet, random number. Okay, the minimum is 1, maximum is what? 100. Right, we want sample size of what? 10. Okay, so far so good? Any question? And then you want to compute. Okay. So far so good? And then, Joe, do you know, oh, option? Okay, edit, no, cancel. Can we put this right here onto that column?
Yeah, select it with your mouse and then just right click it or a command click, yeah.
And then copy and then paste?
Yes.
And then over here, paste. And then that's what we do, okay? So you do exactly the same and then create another sample here, and then I'll do that. Copy, and paste. Control V, Control C, Control V, right? Right? And then you keep doing that, and you want to do, and then do another one here, and then do Control C, Control V, and then so forth. And you want how many of those? What did they say? Okay, so list the 10 labels of your first sample from StatCrunch below, and then list the political affiliation of 10 center of your, right? And what percentage is that? Is this number a statistic or a parameter, right? And so forth. So this you should answer on your own, right? Okay. Okay. Guys, what's the definition of statistic?
A statistic is from a sample of parameters.
Sample, very good, right? Statistic is a sample. Is this right here that we collected a sample or population?
Sample.
Sample. So therefore, is this statistic or parameter? Is this value statistic or parameter?
Statistic.
Statistics. So far, so good. Okay. All right. So you should be able to answer that, right? And so forth, right? So you want to collect a simple random sample of 10 center and record them, right? Sample size 10. This will generate 10 numbers, right? And so forth. Find the corresponding. So list the 10 labels of your first sample. So we don't have to do all of them. So we don't necessarily need to do this. I could actually clear this up. Let's see, delete that. Delete that. Okay, so for my, right here, I could get rid of this. For my, number 4 is actually what? What is this? Number 4 is a Republican. Number 75, what is 75? 75 is Democrat. So Democrat. And 83 is Republican. Republican. 78 is Democrat from Rhode Island. Democrat. 39 is Democrat, Ben Cardin from Maryland. Okay, 58, this is randomly generated. For mine, you shouldn't be copying this, right? From New Hampshire, right? Maggie Hansen, 58 is Democrat. Okay, you want to do yours. If I see this on your paper, I'm going to mark it 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to read out the numbers? I'll read them. I'll read you the.
Yeah, 35.
35 is Republican.
Okay, 23, I see it, Republican. That's Mike Carpel. Okay, and then 81.
81 is Republican.
Republican, and 29 is Republican, Chuck, lastly. Okay, all right, so that's what we have, right? Okay, so first, so again, you just want to label that, the first one, okay? And then what they want you to do here, list the 10 label of your first, right, StatCrunch, list that right here, just like you would do here, okay? So far, so good, okay? And then list the affiliation, that's exactly what I did for the column number 8, okay? So far, so good, okay? That's the affiliation that you want to actually list out, okay? And then what percentage? For my percentage, how many Democrats out of 10? How many do you see here?
3.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of what?
10.
4 out of 10. So I could say 4 out of 10 or 40%. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Characteristic, we want to explore what happens when we repeat the process. Let's start repeating the process 9 more times so that we have 10 proportion from each sample. Create a dot plot for the 10 proportion, right, in the space right. So what we did, exactly what we want to do, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but you will want to do it in a scratch paper, right? So I'm going to actually not do it. So what I want you to do is go to applet again, go to applet, go to the random number, okay, go to minimum 1, go to maximum 100, and then we want sample size 10, and then compute. And then I want you to, again, jot this down right here, copy it, and then put it on here. And then you want to do what? This is your first one, that's 1. This is your second one, that's 2. And then we keep going. And then we need to do 8 more of this. So all we do is do that 8 more times. Copy, paste, 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 right? And so forth. Okay? And then at the end, I'm gonna just put it right here on variable 10. Okay, but you'll probably have a lot of columns all the way across here because you copy and paste. And then you want to figure out what is your Democrat proportion. So my first proportion, as you could see, what was my first proportion of my Democrat? It was 40%. So 0.4. That was my first, right? Sample size 10. Sample size, this one right here, let's just say this is 0.3. Okay? And I'm just going to create, right? And then 0.5. I got another 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.7, 0.2, 0.4, 0.5. Okay? And there's my sample, all the 10 samples that I get, okay? And that's exactly what I get here. And then what I want to do is we want to create a dot plot for this, okay, using StatCrunch, of course. I go here, my column number 10 is the 10 sample proportion, right, of your Democrat that I generated, okay? This is just the made up from me, right? But you have to actually physically do this, right? Using your own, right? Okay. And then what I want to do is go to the graph, go to dot plot, and go to variable 10, okay? And then compute. And there's my dot plot, okay? As you can see right here. Okay, this is made up, right? This is totally made up by me. You have to do it, everything randomly generated. So far, so good, 10 of those. Okay, and then once we get down to here, we want to go here. We're gonna do 100 of this and figure out the actual proportion. Okay, and you wanna follow exact instruction. When you get this down to this portion, I want you to basically highlight this and then copy that down. Control C, copy, rather than typing everything in, because you're gonna actually might not type in incorrectly your spelling error or whatnot. So rather than doing that, just copy it. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the step here. Let's follow this step. I'm gonna close this right here. Okay, it says first, let's see if I can make this smaller. this smaller and then actually go here. Let's see. I just could see this. Okay. Are you able to see both?
Yes.
Here? Okay, so go to data. So we're gonna go to data here. Okay, go to sample. So first we'll get, go to sample, right? And then it says highlight the affiliation column, okay? And then select the column box sample size 10, okay? And then sample size, we want 10, right? Number of samples that we want 100 samples there, right? And then choose computer statistic for each sample. Compute statistic for each sample, and then in the option right here, you want to control paste. Okay, you don't want to type in all that there. Okay, copy this right here, the highlighted portion of it, copy and paste, right? And then for this one, for option, this is just you're naming your column, so you won't have any problem right here. You won't get any error value. I'm just gonna abbreviate proportion of Democrats in 100 sample of size 10. 100 samples of size 10. Okay, so first again, anyone lost here? Okay, please let me know or text Jesse or Joe, right? Ask them to stop, right? Okay, and then push compute. If nothing is wrong, it will compute the value. Okay, it says new column, the proportion of Democrat in 100 samples of size 10 is added to my data. And where is that? Right there. So let's actually go here. And this is on this right here. Okay, as you can see, that's the proportion, which means that the first sample that I got had a proportion of 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, and so forth. Okay, so first we get, and then now what they're asking you to do, so let's open this up. Once we create this, we will generate a new column, right? Using this. And then now we want to create a dot plot. And then go here. How do we create dot plot? Jasmine, how do we create dot plot?
If you go to graph and then dot plot.
Dot plot, good. And then what we were going to do, highlight the proportion of Democrat of 100 sample size of 10, right? And that's all. That's all you need to do. And then we're just gonna compute. Okay, so first we get, and then that should compute just like this. Okay, for mine, right? Yours might be different. Okay, and then what you want to do, and you want to observe, just like we did with what was it, Gettysburg Address, right? Just like what we did with the Gettysburg Address, you want to paste that here. Paste that here, or the home run ball that you did, right? Okay, describe the shape, center, and the spread, right? What type of shape is this? Is it skewed to the left? Is it skewed to the right? Is this normally distributed, right? Is it a normal curve, right? Okay, what will be your center? Just by looking at this, if I ask you, what will be the center here? What will be the center?
0.5.
0.5, right? Okay, 0.5. Okay. So far so good, right? And then the spread. Remember the rule of thumb. What is the rule of thumb? Let me ask Joe. What's the rule of thumb here, Joe? Your mic is muted.
The empirical rule, or the rule of thumb, is within the first standard deviation, there's 68%. Within 2 standard deviations, there's 95%. And within 3, there's 99.7%.
So therefore, what we want to do is, rule of thumb tells us that if you want to figure out the what? The range, right? The actual range, right? And then divided by what?
Oh,
4 equal parts to figure
sorry.
out the spread. No, that's okay.
Yeah,
You're all good.
You meant the
Right.
rule of thumb for standard deviation.
Right, the spread, basically, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right. So what you want to do, you want to figure out the range, and you should all know how to figure out the range by now, right? And then divide it by 4 equal part, because we want to divide it into 4, right, pieces, 25%, 25%. So 4 equal part, and that will tell you what your spread should be approximately, right? And that should be your rule of thumb. Okay. So far so good. Okay. Now use StatCrunch to find the mean. How would you find the mean for this right here? So going here, how would you find the mean for this one? You're like, I eyeballed it. It was about 0.5, right? How would you actually find it? Okay, I'm going to close this right here. Go to stat, go to summary stat. Okay, go to column. Okay. And then what we want to do is highlight the what? Proportion of Democrat of 100 sample. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to find out the mean. What they're asking it is, what is the actual mean? Use StatCrunch to find the 100 sample proportion. What is the mean of your distribution of your sample proportion? How would you find that? The mean of that, right? So again, go to here, go to stat, summary stat, column, and then it pops up this, highlight the proportion of Democrat 100, and all we need is the mean, so just highlight the mean, and then compute.
But you could get the standard deviation now if you wanted.
Well, you could also get the standard deviation, but they're not actually asking for what? Standard deviation. They're all only asking for what? The mean.
Yeah.
Right. What is the mean? I don't know if H is compare your distribution of the sample proportion with at least 3 other SiM student, 3 other classmates. You have to do, right? This is 9 points. This is worth 9 points. And remember, this is worth all 50 points here. And this is 75% of your grade. So you want to put everything on a back burner and get this all done and ready to submit. Submit this, and once you submit this one, worry about the other, right, assignments. Okay, so far so good? Okay, get that. In what ways are the distribution different? Be thorough in shape, center, and spread, right? Focus closely on the mean and the distribution. So we could even actually find the distribution. So let's figure out the distribution, standard deviation as well. Okay, so we'll just control, and we could figure out the standard deviation as well. Yeah, if we wanted to. Yeah, and then we could find out a lot of different value. We could even find the standard error, which is SE, median, range, minimum, maximum, right, and so forth. IQR and so forth. We don't necessarily need all that, so I'll just mean and the standard deviation and compute. Okay, for my particular 100 sample, I got a mean of 0.466. Okay, about 46.6% are Democrat. That's the proportion, right? Okay, for mine, you have to actually create your own, right, statistical data here. So far, so good. Any question? Okay, so what is the parameter of your proportion of the statistic in the 100? You should be able to actually do this, right? Without any problem. Parameter is your population proportion. So you have to actually go look at the 100 senators, right? And their affiliation and how many Democrats are there. And you got to count them. It's going to take you maybe 5 minutes to count all of them, right? You have to go through all of them. That's why. Okay.
Can you just sort them too?
Oh, you could sort them. Yes. Very good. You could do sort, and then you could go affiliation, and you could sort by
Ascending for alphabetical order.
ascending.
It'll recognize letters as alphabetical.
Oh, alphabetical. Oh, look at that. Ascending. Look at that. And you could figure out, oh, look at, well, there are 2 independents actually, right? There's 47 Democrats firm, right? Oh, I'm not going to, you do it. I'm not going to tell you, right? Okay, you do it, right? And you're going to get this right here, sort, right? Okay, how does the parameter relate to your dot plot? Oh, very close, right? For my dot plot, it was pretty close. My mean was 46.6%, whereas the actual parameter was 47%. Okay. What was the big idea and concept? I'm going to leave it up to you to actually answer this. This is a big point here, right? Okay, you have to actually research that. This one, I won't give you that actual an answer to it, right? How to actually research that right there. Whew, we pretty much went over all of it. Okay, it shouldn't take you more than an hour to actually research, do all the thing. More than 2 hours to actually do all of this right here, and be thorough, and then write a complete sentences, and then submit this right here. Okay, Amir, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so now let me answer questions from other homeworks. Okay, so let me start sharing. Here.
Did any of you get an email from Professor Conley? Make sure to reply. I think I'm not familiar with the contents of the email, but I think it's like summarizing what you have or don't have. Yeah. You were gonna say something, Jasmine?
Yeah, do we have to respond to the email if it doesn't say anything about responding?
No.
No, what you want to do is you want to not just react to the email, right? Basically, right? So if you are missing, so you're missing these type of, assignment, do those assignments, submit those assignments, right?
It wasn't about missing assignments.
And if you are, say, if your grade is down, then of course you want to actually study more, and you want to participate and so forth, right? Okay. Just responding to it, right? That's it, right? Okay. No, you don't have to actually say, you could actually say, oh yeah, you could email her and say, I'll do my, I'll try better, or, do my darndest to actually, pass this class, get everything turned in on time, right? And so forth, right? Yeah. But rather than doing that, react to it, right? Basically. Yeah. All right. Ian, are we good? Okay. So far, so good. How about other homework problems that you have? Okay. Again, I kid you not. I went through module 11. You notice this right here. I went through all of this right here.
You're not
through.
on your screen, Professor.
Huh? Oh, I'm not sharing screen. Sorry. Okay. So watch for those of you who were in my morning class, watch the afternoon videos for yesterday. Okay, watch the afternoon videos. I went through all of this. We got right? Okay. So it shouldn't, because this takes a little bit. We went through this. It took us about 2 hours to actually go through 1 through 6. Right? I haven't done 7 and 8. It's up to you to kind of do those, right? But I have a step-by-step process of going through this homework, unit number 2 homework, unit number 2, module 11 homework, right? Which deals with central limit theorem. Okay, go through that, right? Okay, so and that will help you with your homework assignments for your afternoon, right? So afternoon videos. And for those of you who are in the afternoon, look at the other afternoon video as well as the one of the morning videos. Morning video actually goes over the central limit theorem, the overview of what we went through. Okay. All right. And for those of you who are missing homework assignments after you turn in this exam, right? Go through your missing homework assignment, do it, turn them in. Okay. Turn them in late. I give you a late point. Okay. All right.
And prioritize the number of points. So for example, like
right.
Where'd it go? Oh, like
let me have you share.
Oh no, well, I don't want to share. I'm showing the grades. I'm showing the proportion of missing assignments. So like, for example, like let's say homework module 7, right? That's 12 points. So make sure to do that one first if you're missing it. There was another one, homework 10. It's 8 points. So you want to do that first. Do you understand?
Right. There's 15 points, right? You don't want to be doing those 3-pointers one, right? Okay. There's 12 points and so forth, right?
Yeah.
And then get those all down there, okay?
I think it's okay.
So far, so good. All right. All right. Besides that, any other question on the homework? That you want me to go over? I still have 10 minutes. Then if not, if you don't have any question, let's go through this one right here. Let's look at number 7. Okay, why not, right? I'm gonna actually erase that. Okay, let's see here. After Eduard's 11th grade that ended in extra inning, 11th game that ended in extra inning, Alicia told him that his team is weird because they play so many games with extra innings. Eduardo argued that it is just part of the baseball since they have to play so many games. 95 total since the team was formed, right? It is normal to have some games so go on for a long time, right? To settle the argument, Eduardo decided to use a central limit theorem, okay, CLT. He found the proportion of the game that go into extra inning is 7.6%, and decided to find the probability that in a simple random sample of 90 games, 95 games. So here, let's actually collect information. Okay, 11 of those were more, 11 or more of them ended in extra games. Okay. So they want to figure out, find the probability that a simple random sample of 90, right? What is the probability, right? So we want to figure out what's the probability that 11 or more, right? Okay, so proportion P hat is greater than or 11 or more, 11 out of 95. Okay, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, does this strategy work? If so, 11 games with extra inning is a weird event since 5% of chance is happening. Okay, so let's actually figure out this one right here. So they're saying that on average, right, find the proportion of the game that goes into extra inning is 7.6%, so it's 0.076. Okay, that's your p-value. Okay, what will be your q value? What's your q for MVP point? Jasmine, what do we get? What's your q? For sure. Anyone?
0.924.
0.924, 0.924. Where do we get that?
1 minus 0.076.
Very good. Victoria. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Q is equal to 1 minus P. It's always is complement, right? 7.6%, right? Then it's going to be 92.4%. Okay, it's always a complement, the Q value here. Okay, so far so good. And we have N equals to, right? 95. So far so good. And this is dealing with what we call the proportion. So we're dealing with proportion. First thing first, right? Okay, it's got to meet the central limit theorem. What is the 3 conditions for your central limit theorem? What are the 3 conditions for central limit theorem?
SRS.
Random sample.
So it's got to be a simple random sample. It's got to be a random and independent. So it takes simple random sample takes care of that. So therefore, it says they take a simple random sample of 95 games. So therefore, checks. Okay. Condition number 2. What's the condition number 2?
It has to be larger than 25.
Nope.
The sample.
Not with proportion.
It has to be NP less than 10 and NQ less than 10.
Greater than equal to.
Or greater to, sorry.
Right. You could just say, you could just tell me, oh, you have to have a large sample size. What is a large sample size for proportion? So we have large sample size. You have to have a large sample size, which means the condition it has to meet is N times P has to be greater than or equal to 10, and N times Q has to be equal to greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so far so good? Okay, so let's actually figure this one out. Does this meet the condition here? So N is what? 95 times P, 0.076. And then we have 95 times 0.924. Okay, let me have you compute that.
So hope you guys have your calculators out.
Okay, so we get 87.78. Okay. So he says, right, after Eduardo's 11th game at the end, right, Alicia told that his team is weird because they play so many games. Eduardo argues that it is just part of baseball, and since they have played so many games, 95 total since the team was formed, it is normal to have some games so long or go long. Okay, to settle the argument, Eduardo decided to use a central limit theorem, find the proportion of the game that go into extra inning is 7.6%, and decide to find the probability that the simple random sample of 95 11 or more of them end in extra inning. Does this strategy work? If so, right, 11 game, does this strategy work?
No,
Why not?
we didn't get 10 successes.
Right, so you notice this right here is not greater than or equal to 10, right? It doesn't meet the condition, right? It does not meet the condition. Okay, so far so good. If so, 11 game with like is weird event is less than, right? And so forth. So therefore, does she still want us to actually calculate this?
No, we should stop.
Okay, stop.
And then say we should
So-
collect more samples if we wanted to proceed with the central
Right.
limit.
Okay, so we want to collect more sample because this does not meet the central limit theorem, right? Okay, so not enough, right? And we're trying to figure out the population there, okay? Or probability. So far, so good. Get the idea, right? All right, so I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to actually finish the last one. Pretty much I've done all of this right here. You have to just understand what you're actually doing and what you're looking at when you're looking at for your central limit theorem. So far, so good?
Can
Okay.
you scroll up to number 4, please?
Number 4,
Yeah, I just wanted to check my answers. Thank you.
okay. So far, so good. All right. Okay. So I'll let you guys go. Joe, are you going into the meeting?
There's no meeting today.
There's no SIM meeting today
Yeah, so we're gonna have it on Sunday at 5:30.
at 5:30. So, then if you do not have the meeting, did you text other people? Yeah. So, did you text Joe and Alex?
No, not yet. So
Okay, then I'll text them and I'll let them know. I'll go from 1:30 to I'll let them know 1:30 to 3. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay.
I'll text them.
okay, got
All
it.
right. Thank you.
So if you guys have any questions, I don't know of any open tutoring going over the weekend, but all the homework assignments that you've missed, I assume most students didn't do them because there's something they don't understand, right? So feel free to message me on Canvas, and the professors as well. I'm sure that,
Right.
but I don't want to put their name out over the weekend. But like some of us of the tutors, we'll be glad to help 1 or 2 questions because you want to finish your test first. But it's also very important to understand that you're not going to get extensions on all your homework in every other class you get or later this semester, right? So it might be just this weekend that your deadlines are extended. And so you want to be able to answer those questions. And if you can't do it on your own, reach out to us. Okay, so that's it. You guys can head out. And yeah, if you don't know how to message on Canvas, just let me know. I'll just show you. Just go to people, message. Bye. Later, Jess.
Hey, Joel.
Later.